Where do we see cooperation in economies? Well, we do have some experimental results and some experiments that we've run where we can see cooperative outcomes. Experimental results in anonymous one-shot prisoner's dilemma games do not have perfect cooperation, but neither do they have perfect defection. Public goods games also show a fair amount of cooperation, even though the Nash play is to not cooperate at all. In public good games, on average, donation rates are around 40 to 60%, depending on different kind of variables that are there. I have run in the first 5 years of running an intermediate microeconomics course with undergraduates, I have run public goods games, and my contribution rates haven't quite been in that 40 to 60% rate, but I'm dealing with econ students who are learning kind of the standard neoclassical hyper-rational economic model. They're kind of trained to think, what is the right answer here? What is the Nash equilibrium play? My average response over those first 5 years was around 30% of the contribution or cooperative play, right? So I had 2 years where I had 36%, one with 26%, one with 25%, and then another with 27.5%. So average is right around 30%. Even though that is less cooperative than the kind of average individual who's between 40 and 60%, that's still 30% cooperation when the standard model predicts none. Richard Thaler says, one of the most powerful methods for inducing cooperation in these games is to permit the subjects to talk to one another. Now, in many of these settings, economists would not predict that talk would help at all. Imagine you're playing a prisoner's dilemma game. You're one of two prisoners. And before committing the crime, you can get together and you can talk about what will happen if you get caught. And you can promise to cooperate with one another if you get caught and to not rat each other out. Does this change our analysis at all? No, the payoffs are still going to be the same. And there is still strict dominance towards defection. That's the standard analysis here. It doesn't matter if you got to talk about it. There's strict dominance. You should always cheat your prisoner's dilemma partner. The saying is, talk is cheap. Economists call it cheap talk. This actually helps in a lot of experiments, though. That should seem weird. Cheap talk shouldn't exist in the world of economics as a helpful thing. And yet, when we allow talk, as Richard Thaler said, talk is one of these more powerful methods for inducing cooperation, right? And so these external human things, like being able to talk to one another, can actually extend our ability to cooperate. All right, guys, that's cooperation for us. Click on the video link to move on in this mini lecture series and head to the idea of fairness and how it impacts economics.